What we've developed is a site called CrimeCheck, which will be part of News24. And the goal of this is very straightforward. It's basically to help the user understand how dangerous their neighbourhood is compared to other areas. The value that people will get out of it, I think, is how their neighbourhood rates and ranks compared to other neighbourhoods around the country. But more specifically, it gives you a comparison of the risk rating of neighbourhoods very close by to you. For example, if you're a person looking to move home, you might want to use our site to do a comparison of the suburb that you live in now and compare it to the suburb that you're planning to go to. And you'll get a sense of whether you're moving from a better neighbourhood from a kind of crime perspective or to a worse neighbourhood. Okay, so the user of CrimeCheck will hit the the landing page here, and they are immediately presented with a data-driven view of crime in South Africa. The user can have a look at this colour-coded map, where blue indicates a lower risk and where red and orange indicate a relatively higher risk. The user is also able to look at the other indices that we've calculated here. Contact crimes, for example, sexual offences, aggravated robbery, burglary and murder. For example, murder in particular is very useful to look at as a comparison because it's the one crime type in the country that's consistently reported accurately across all neighbourhoods. So once the user has a sense of the national picture, what they're obviously interested in is their neighbourhood. So there's a search, you can enter your street, your suburb, and our application will then locate your neighbourhood in the correct policing precinct and will zoom you in to the detailed view of that. So in this case, I'm looking at the neighbourhood I live in, and in terms of serious crime, it's ranked 991 out of 1,158. So in some ways, a far higher serious crime risk profile than I would have imagined. And then of course there's the ability to look at the daily averages of crime statistics. Now these are really useful because what we've done is taken the crime statistics for every single crime from 2017 through to the last quarter that's been released in 2022, and we've calculated the historic average per day of those crimes in the country. So what it helps the user to understand is if you're looking at 2022 data, which is not complete yet because we've only got the one quarter, you can start to get a sense of how 2022 is shaping up against the previous years, because you can look at the average number of crimes that have taken place. So if we look, for example, at attempted murder in 2022 so far, those are occurring at a rate of 63 per day across the country. If you look at last year, attempted murder was occurring at a rate of 56 per day on average. So a very significant increase in that. Finally, there's a very useful functionality to do comparisons. I've looked at 3 that I've lived in different parts of the country. It is quite interesting for me that in the 3 different areas that I've lived in around the country, that actually the Johannesburg neighbourhood that I lived in was actually the lowest risk profile. And the Durban neighbourhood that I lived in was actually the highest, which was quite a surprise to me. I'm hoping that by being properly informed with facts and data, that people will be able to make important decisions about how they live, work, invest, and travel. And that by understanding the concept of risk in a neighbourhood, that they will be able to reduce the chance that they might become a victim of crime.